the happier you are, the more likely you are to succeed and to meet people, and the better your life is in every way, like the happier you are. So do the things you love, do the things that bring you happiness, whether it's going to the nature, writing, listening to the music, meeting up with a friend. Just do the things that are meaningful to you.
Welcome to the RAD Actor Mindset Podcast. Each week, we sit down with actors and artists from around the world who have faced and conquered adversity on their journey. Their stories of resilience and passion will inspire and empower you to push forward in your own creative path. I'm Roger Anthony Dumadag, your host, and I'm thrilled to bring you these powerful conversations. Let's dive in and uncover the mindset of success. All right, today on the RAD Actor Mindset Podcast, we have an incredible guest. She's actually our first international actress. And
Oh, wow.
Yeah, congratulations. And her
Yeah.
story truly embodies what it means to be RAD, which stands for resilient, aligned, and driven. And her story started in Estonia, of all places. So she's Estonian born. She came to Hollywood by way of London, and I'll let her tell you her story. But what's incredible about Kristel is that she's an accomplished actress, a performer, and a creator, and she embodies what it means to be resilient, aligned, and driven. So welcome, Kristel Elling,
Oh,
to the podcast.
hello. First of all, thank you. That was, very, very beautiful to hear you saying those nice words.
Well, I got to tell you, we've known each other since, was it 2000, for
Um,
7 years ago, 8 years ago. We,
right.
yeah. So Kristel and I met in a Taekwondo studio.
You did. And I'm preparing right now for the second degree. So I'm hoping to do the second degree belt test either December or January. But, so yeah, Taekwondo.
That's incredible. Congratulations. Meanwhile, just to give people a bit of the stories that I had to go back to the East Coast and I had to stop taking classes because, also because of the pandemic, like we couldn't go to class.
Right.
And fortunately for you, you're still in LA and you could go take classes and I ironically I haven't taken the Taekwondo class since, and I'm like stuck on what is it? Brown belt, brown belt, and well,
Brown belt.
yeah. Well, congratulations, Kristel. I'm glad that you could make this podcast episode, and we're going to learn all about you. So, first off, you're from Estonia, and tell everyone where Estonia is and how Estonia is and what's life like in Estonia.
You know what? If you allow me, I would write. I'm going to answer your questions, but I would love to start with something because it's on my chest. I'm like, no, I don't know if it's the right way to say it.
Yeah.
Like I saw a movie last night and I can't stop thinking about it. And I just wanted to say two sentences about it because it
Sure.
correlates to going back to Estonia. So I'm going
Okay,
to start my
great.
story.
Okay.
I saw a Springsteen movie last night, the Deliver Me from Nowhere. And I was breathless after that. And I had like one thought in my head, like, this is the movie I had to see because it reminded me that all I ever wanted was to be an artist. It stuck me so deeply in such a deep level because I remember when I was in drama school. Okay, now let's go back to Estonia. When I was in drama school, so I remember all what I ever wanted was to be the best artist. Like I feel like almost I feel like some kind of circle has finished. I don't know. Like I feel like I'm coming home again. Like I don't know. It's just it really I don't know. It meant to me a lot. It reminded me that we are artists and like a real actors who are not doing it for fame and for God knows what reasons. That first of all we do it for love and wanting to express and wanting to share our love for the craft and make a difference. I guess that's what I wanted to start off with. But going back to Estonia, so yeah, I was born in Estonia. It's a small country next to Finland, Sweden. Our population is 1 million people, or a
Wow.
little bit more. So it's a tiny, tiny country. So my mother is an opera singer. So I was literally raised in a theater. Like my mom raised me by herself. So I was just hanging in the theater every day with her. Just there was when I'm in an opera theater, there is opera theater is attached to drama theater. It's like a big, very famous theater in Estonia. So I would watch operas one night, and the other night I would watch plays, and that was my childhood. And I didn't even know that anything else outside of theater existed. I thought that is the world, that theater world was my world, you know. So I went to drama school after I graduated, after I finished my high school. And yeah, so after graduating from high school, from drama school, I was professional actor and I was doing what I only knew, the one thing what I wanted to do, and that was acting. And yeah, so that's briefly the beginning.
Well, I am a big Springsteen fan, and I will definitely watch the movie. Which reminds me, there was another film about someone who was in love with Prince Springsteen. It was directed by an Indian director who directed Bend It Like Beckham, and that was a brilliant movie. But Springsteen's story, because I grew up in New Jersey, I grew up most of my
Mm.
life in New Jersey, and Springsteen is a god there. Like he comes from the
Oh,
street, and
wow.
yeah. So I can't wait to see that movie. But getting back to Estonia, how coming from Estonia, what were some of the early challenges that you faced pursuing acting in a smaller market?
Estonia is just such a different place to work. Like we have this one reputable drama school. If you get in, you are a star. Like literally. Like when you get in, everybody knows you because they start filming you doing like programs. But like this is, I remember when I got in, that was like literally like an instant celebrity status. Like, anyway, so Estonia is small. Estonia is small. And but I remember it was tough because, I was raised by my mom and I was very protected in a way. I had been a lot of time just with my mom, so I wasn't socially maybe, like drama school, that's a hard, tough competition over there. And I remember I wasn't used to, I was very, very naive, very, like, I thought everybody's, I mean, is that gonna sound bad? Like, I was just so protected. I thought everybody's full of love and everybody wants to support and protect each other, but that's not the real world, right? So
Whereas you were
there's,
living in a cocoon, basically.
yes, I was a little bit protected, let's put it that way. So I remember suddenly like a real world, yeah, like a real world opened up for me. And I remember it was tough. I loved acting. That was not the question, but just seeing that the world is much tougher than I thought it is. And, especially between women, like getting the roles already in drama school and and lacking support in a way that I expect. But, I don't know. I don't want to really delve into this negative. Like, I don't want to talk about negative stuff. Just, let's put it that way, that it was suddenly like a tough world for me.
And how
And
did you overcome, how did you, like as far as mindset, how did you get past the negativity or get past the challenges early on in Estonia? Did you just forge forward?
I, yeah, I guess I was very, very, very ambitious. Like I honestly, up to till now, like people say that they don't know as ambitious person as me. Like I was ambitious, and even though like I never wished ill for anybody, I just wanted to work. Like the drama school was like 24-hour day days, like a military school. And I even stayed for the weekend just to like practice ballet, practice tap, and do the scenes. Like I was, no, I overworked. I was just all I ever wanted, and the only thought in my head was acting. There was no private life. There was nothing. There was just acting. And I think I also just overworked because, as we all know, when we get older, you must have life outside of acting too, right? So you must have something to hold on to. And I didn't really, except like my mom was my anchor, but still, you can't be totally blinded from the whole world. Like you must have something. But I literally was like, it just all I wanted to do was just to get better and better, be the best out there. That's all what I ever wanted. But now, yeah, I'm wiser now. There must
Well,
be.
that's a great lesson, not just for you, for anyone listening, is that it just can't be all about acting
It can be
because
sustained.
yeah, it's not
Yeah,
sustainable. People talk about work-life balance. There's debates on that too, and I've heard recently there is no work-life balance because if you really want what you really want, then it's gonna be out of balance no matter what. But that's my I've been hearing different takes on that. So let me ask you this:
yeah.
uh, after Estonia, you're
Mhm.
awarded a scholarship, right? For
No,
outstanding,
I got
or you,
I got scholarship from my drama school for for the great results, and then I got. I mean, if you're jumping ahead, I did work in Estonia a couple of years. I did a couple of movies, I did a couple of plays and a couple of TV series. But then I applied for Royal Central School of Speech and Drama. If are you talking about this scholarship?
yes, yes, in London.
Yeah, yeah. So I got scholarship for Royal Central School of Speech and Drama because of I guess
You
I
wanted you
guess I,
wanted
I I
more.
guess I did well.
Well, you did well, but you wanted more, right?
I wanted more, absolutely. I wanted to become an international actress. That was, after graduating from Estonian drama school, that was instantly my next thought. Like I no, I did work, in Estonia, but
Yeah.
then I was already after a year, I was not satisfied. Like I wanted to work internationally. I think this thought was at the back of my head all the time that I had to move on.
Well, let me ask you, when you first started acting, especially I know I read that you did stage in Estonia, which is great.
Yes.
Um, so after a couple of years, um, like you said, you got the scholarship to the school in London. Did you want to focus on theater, or did you want to focus on film and television, or you just you just wanted to work?
You know, the reason why, because I was already a professional actor and I wanted the idea of going to school in London was because my English wasn't that good. I mean, it's still not that good, but anyway.
Oh, it's
So, and I
great.
also, thank you. I wanted to know how the industry works in London, and also I wanted to create like a community and meet people, and because in Estonia it was everything was so simple, but I felt like reputable school like Royal Centre School of Speech and Drama will help me to get started there. So I did a master's 1 year course there because there was no point doing another 4 year course because I was already a professional actor, right? So I did the 1 year master's there. And then, when I moved to London and I already started auditioning, and then was all auditions were literally for film. And then suddenly transition happened. Like, before I was crazy about theater. Like, as I said, I was literally raised, I was like a theater baby, I was raised in theater. That's all what I knew. And then when I started going to those film auditions in London, the shift started slowly happening. I was started to fall in love with films, and then when before I was all the time and went to see the plays, suddenly I started going to see the movies. So I was just sitting in the movie theaters all the time. Even though, of course, I went to West End a lot too. I got a lot. There was, oh, I have actually lots of funny stories because I don't know how is it right now. I haven't lived there now for a while. But if you go early, early, early in the morning, they would release like, I can't remember, like 10, 20 tickets for like £10 or something, which is very little. Like, those tickets are expensive. And I was poor, I had no money. And I would go stand in front of the theater at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I think the box office opened like 8 or 9 or something, or maybe even 10. And I would just stand there to get the ticket. That was the devotion,
I
you
think
know.
in Broadway, they call them lottery tickets, I believe. Well, actually, it it's not the same, but you get the tickets for like $20 or something like that. And
Right.
it's like the first
So
two
is it,
rows.
it's on Broadway, it's still happening? They still
I
do
think
that?
I think so. I have a funny story about Rent, but what was
No,
your
tell me,
oh, okay, you
tell me,
want
tell me.
when Rent came out, like it was that what was it like 30 years ago or something like that? And I first, everybody w wanted to see it, whatever, and they had the lottery tickets. So you have to come to the theater, I think a few hours before, and you put your name down and you get a number, and then you have to wait literally till a half an hour before the doors open. And if your name gets called, you get in. And of course, on the on the first try, I got my name called. And it's like, I was clueless, and so wow, this must happen all the time. But it doesn't happen all the time because I tried
Right.
afterwards. And I don't know if you've ever seen Rent. It's one of my all-time favorite shows to see, and it was for me it was an emotional it was it was an emotional experience for me, um because it's just so uh gut wrenching and heart pulling, and I love the music. And at the end at the end of the show, have you seen it? Have you seen
I
Red?
don't think I have. I was just started going through in my head. I
Yeah,
don't think I
you should
have.
see a live version of it, but they have the movie version. But go see the live version. At the end, when they do the final song, and Angel comes, he's passed away, and then and spoiler alert, he comes back on stage for the for the encore, and
Yeah.
I just lost it. I started bawling. I started like crying like a
Ah,
baby. Like it was like I was just so invested in the show. But that's my story, it's like so crazy. But you were in London, and London, for those of you who don't know out there, it's like one of the top or the top film and TV like production center in the world right now. I don't
yes.
know what it is what it was like back then, but besides the West End and theater, it's, I mean, there's so many TV shows and films and what have you. So my question is, after school there, why did you want to come to Hollywood?
I was there for 10 years, and ambitious as I was, before that, America felt so out of reach that this thought really didn't occur to me. Like when I moved to London, that this thought didn't occur to me to move to America. Like this felt so far away and so unreachable. Anyway, but after living in London for 10 years, I I was like, I need to go there. Like I feel like I think every actor eventually wants to end up who has fallen in love with films wants to end up in Hollywood,
Hollywood, yeah.
and that's why, yeah, I started coming here for classes. I went to New York. My favorite acting coach was actually in New York. I went there a lot to Bob Crockover. But then I came here. You know Bob Crockover?
Yeah, well,
Oh, he's my favorite.
I studied with Bob. Gosh, I don't know
He's the
what.
best.
Yeah, he's
He's the
awesome.
best.
Yeah, he has
Uh,
his own
so
team now. But go ahead.
anyway, so yeah, like that was like what's the word I'm looking for? Logical next step. I mean, now I'm kind of thinking, why didn't I move here earlier? Like I should have been much younger because I was ambitious and I feel like I had skills and I had it all. I think. And why didn't I move here earlier? Because I was by Hollywood standards, I guess, too old already, to be this new young face because I was already in my 30s. And now the only, regrets right now is I wish I had come here earlier because especially, when I moved here, I had lots of work. Now it's a little different for, we know with diversity, like when you're blonde and blue-eyed, it's less work. But at that time, there was lots of work for me when I moved here. So that's why I was like, I wish I had moved here earlier. Mm,
Well, I always believe everything happens for a reason, and
that is true.
and that reason is there to serve you. And
Yes.
you know, the grass is always greener where you water it. So I
Right.
think that first of all, to move from Estonia, which is like what, 1 million people, you're going from a small pond to a large pond in London. And granted, you got a lot of experience there. So, you went to school. I mean, I forgot to tell you that you've probably gotten this a lot as far as comparisons. And I'm not gonna, you don't tell me, but tell me, and I'll tell you
Comparisons? Like
comparison.
who I remind?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Which famous actress?
no, you're talking about young Meryl Streep, I'm guessing.
Yes. Hello.
I could,
I mean,
I could,
I could put the picture up here on if people are watching on YouTube, and there's like it's a spinning image, and I remember I'm young enough to remember one of Meryl Streep's first acting experiences was on a miniseries called The Holocaust, or for to so, and that was my first
mm,
impression of her, and she was just so captivating, brilliant, and you remind me of her.
right.
Um, you know, so you have that going for you.
I wish it would help me somehow.
Well, listen,
I
in
could play, yeah, maybe her daughter somewhere.
yeah. Well, you've played a lot of different roles and characters in theater, film, television, and now you're in Hollywood. So, how do you navigate through everything now with the state we're in. I mean, as far as the state of the show business that we're in right now with productions, people call it the slowdown or runaway production to Europe and Canada and the state of these streaming companies cutting jobs and what have you. But what's your take as far as like overcoming, despite all that, how do you rise above that?
Yeah, like this is obvious. Like this is there's no arguments and there's very little work. And I've taken a couple of casting director workshops recently. Started taking them again. I used to take them a lot, but anyway, and they all is like there's no work, no work. And all what casting director says just create your own content, create your own content, make write a play, write a movie. I feel like right now um, we have it. It's so easy in a way, right, with our phones. And in London, I did my first short movie, and I've written a lot. I have with one feature film, which was my fashion passion project. I was in Cannes a couple of years ago, and I got a producer on board. I went to Cannes to find a producer for my movie. But then COVID happened, and then it fell through. And right now I'm working on another short film, which is I was looking for a right actor for it. I couldn't find like I'm the lead, of course, but I need a young boy, not the young boy. I mean, like a 20-year-old, yeah, young boy, young man, young man.
Young man.
So and I've started doing like I've started expressing myself as an artist in all possible ways. And I'm using social media for that. I'm filming myself. I have a thought and I just do it, whether it's like a little sketch or sometimes I just film a monologue, I don't know, right now, the urge to be creative. I haven't felt like that for a long time, or maybe because I've been deprived from being creative, like because of the COVID and there's so little work. I just feel the enormous desire to be creative. And even like booking photo shoots, I feel like I'm creating characters. Like I take it as an acting job. Like really, like I know I did a couple of photo shoots recently, and I just enjoyed myself immensely, just putting on something that I would never wear and just playing around. You asked, what do I do right now? I do everything to create, to be creative, to feel like I can express myself. I started studying piano, so I've been singing a lot anyway, but now I can accompany myself. So just like all those different ways. And I went back to tap dance class, and I really, what I really want, I would love to just produce more films, but as we all know, producing a movie, that's takes a long time. That's very hard. And if you have worked on it for a long time and it fell through, then it's can be devastating. But I'm working on a couple of movie projects, and just really doing everything to fulfill the artist in me, like everything. And we can use now social media really to do a little sketch, or monologue, or little something funny to entertain or just express our creativity. I feel like that's now it's so easily doable, right?
You bring up an excellent point, and that's why years ago I started writing my own screenplays and what have you, like yourself. And nowadays, technology is evolving even quicker, especially with AI. And it's really important for actors and artists not to just sit back and wait for the phone ring or wait for your agent to give you an audition. And you're doing the very smart thing. I think both of us, there's actors out there, artists that realize that we're in an age where we can produce our own content with with this, basically.
Right.
Um,
Right.
the quality is amazing, especially now with, if people use the new iPhone 17 Pro Max. I mean, it's incredible. So people out there listening can create their own content. You can collaborate with other artists, actors, you know, a lot of people are in the same boat. So that's such a great mindset shift if you're not working a lot. And the people who do put themselves out there, because I've seen your posts, and they're funny and brilliant, and I I believe that that's what we need to do,
Right.
for our own sanity, and also to entertain other people out there. And it reminds me, if I may, I remember Vin Diesel did a short film called Multifacial, and at
Huh.
at Ducuni, city of New York, in college, and it was went to a festival, and Steven Spielberg saw it, and of course
What? I have not heard of this story.
there's so many stories like that, and of course he was cast in Finding Private Ryan, or Saving Private Ryan, yeah,
David Bremer.
and the rest is
Oh,
history.
wow.
The rest is history. But he created his own short film that found, I don't know which festival.
Oh,
I'll have to look it up again, but that's just one story. And that was way back then, before social media and technology
right.
we have right now. Technology right now is a lot better now than it was back then.
Right.
So congrats to you for doing that. So I do have another question. Um,
Okay.
as a woman
Okay.
in the entertainment industry, especially coming from a different country, right? Did you face moments of bias or misunderstanding, or just having to prove yourself? And how did you overcome that?
Absolutely. Like as you can hear my accent, right? Like my accent gives it away instantly. Like when I have an audition, if I can afford, I've been working, like if it's really big, important audition, I work with accent coach to sound as good as possible. But this is also not possible because it's very expensive, as we all know. So I've been working on my accent for so long, and it's just tough. And also sometimes, it's just heartbreaking when, I remember I went to audition. What was this series about IT, the comedy, Silicon Valley? And what are the odds? There was one guest star. In the script, it said an Estonian. Like I remember the girl was flirting with one of them, and I was like, I'm the only Estonian, right? Like, come on. And I didn't get it, right? And then later I saw, the girl who got it. And it was obviously an American trying to do an accent, and she didn't look like Estonian. She looked actually Slavic. You know, we are have Nordic appearance. So like she didn't look right, she didn't sound right. I was like, like in moments like that, it's like, come on. And also, like, I speak, my native tongue is Estonian, but I also speak Russian, a little bit Finnish. And, when it rolls like that, and then you can hear that actually they have picked an American to do those roles, then it's just like, it's a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? It like brings you down a little bit, but also, but on the other side of it is, I feel like, I say, a lot. That's bad. I noticed it right now. Mm, that America is very international. And I feel like my agent and manager, like, oh, I'm not going to submit you for roles if it doesn't say specifically, this girl is from Sweden or Germany, somewhere from Europe. Is like, no, submit me, because America is so international, especially, LA and New York. Is like, there's accents and different looks. Everybody has a different accent, different look, right? But still, like my agent and manager, they're rejecting to submit me, even though, like, if it says in a breakdowns like it is attorney, I think it could be, any ethnicity, or, if it's not, of course, specific in the story that's it's American family, whatever. But still, I'm not having access to those roles, because it's still, or at least for me right now, where I'm at, that I'm going out for auditions if it's like European character, or Russian, or or Swedish. And I feel like it's still limited, which kind of surprises me, because like if you're in LA and New York, like, you know every second person has an accent, right? But still in the casting, if they take person with an accent, then it's very specific to the story, then they, as you know. So yeah, it's sometimes it makes me sad at what, you know, America, there are not only Americans with perfect American accent, there's everything here.
Well, let me ask you something because obviously being resilient and aligned and driven, which I feel like you're very ambitious, which is clearly obvious, and you're still doing this, which a lot of people there's a high turnover in show business.
And maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe I'm just crazy.
Well, we're crazy anyway. Uh, what uh, what are some daily or mental practices that keep you in a strong creative mindset? You know,
That's a very good question. And that's something I'm thinking about. Like, I've been thinking about it as long as I know myself, because it connects, for me, this subject connects to the confidence, well-being, reaching your potential. I feel that's all like, actually, it's like one subject, really, for me. When I was in London, I was doing yoga, and not like a little bit, but I did hardcore yoga. Like every day, I found this teacher, Stuart Gilchrist. He's the most now well-known yoga teacher in London, and he was actually teaching royal family. Anyway, I fell in love with yoga, and that's something that kept me grounded. Like yoga, in of course physical exercises, but the whole tradition behind it, and the breathing and mindset. And I feel like without this, I would have lost my mind. And now when I moved to LA, I still do yoga, not as much. Um, but then, now I do martial arts, and I feel this is not just physical exercise, this is a mental exercise. So martial arts, something, and yoga, I've started doing more and more breathing exercises, and I feel breathing is something that's very, very powerful. Like,
oh yeah.
that can calm you, that can ground you. Also, I've had my diary, as long as I remember myself, and sometimes I fall off a little, but then I take it, find it again, and then I start writing a lot. So now I've started writing a lot again. And those little things, yeah, definitely breathing, going to the nature. In Los Angeles, there are so wonderful hikes. Just the other day, I went to the ocean, just so sitting on a beach, and I was like, oh, why am I not doing it enough? I just felt so relaxed and so grounded and grateful for everything, and that takes me to gratitude. Like, I do lots of those little things every day, just thinking, being grateful, keeping journal, yoga, martial arts. nature, like all those things, I feel that help me, because the other way, I feel like I would, life is tough, and I don't have support really. I'm a single woman trying to make something of myself, still trying to make something of myself, right?
But
And it's tough.
you're doing it, and you do these things like going to the beach, yoga, martial arts, and I really feel that these things do help the mind. And I think it's for people out there listening, I think that they should have some sort of daily practice to keep the mind sharp, to keep, mental focus, keep physically active.
You
Um,
know what I did? I'm
mhm.
sorry for interrupting. I just wanted to say
Yeah.
I wrote down those things that bring me joy and or calm me down or ground me, like literally like on the board, like going to the nature, yoga, maybe calling a friend just when I feel suddenly it's too much. Then I'm looking at this list. Okay, what could I do right now to either calm down or ground myself? Just sometimes it gets overwhelming, and then it's nice to have this little list there.
Yeah, I think that, well, it's definitely needed in our business because of mental focus, mental health, and just staying sharp on with what we do, especially self tapes, auditions. But let me ask you, when is there a moment in your career, like from Estonia to LA, was there a moment where you said to yourself that you, like, say you got completely knocked down, or you were rejected, like it could be professional or personal, and you rose above it. You found the strength, the will to rise above it. Do you have an instance of that? And what helped you rise above, like, okay, I'm just going to do this, or,
There have been, like, I think, like a couple of times when I felt, okay, I just can't do it anymore, because it is tough. It is very tough. There is, like I have understood now over the years that there's actually lots of people, maybe, I don't know, can I say most people, but lots of people who want stability. Like they lose their minds when they don't have a permanent job. They must have this, they know they get this income every month. And if they don't have it, they lose it. And I have been living not knowing where my next paycheck is coming, when my next job is coming. I've been living like that for the past 20 years, you know?
Mhm.
And what does it do? I mean, of course, I'm, used to, so are you, like that's how we live. But what does it really do to us, right? Like not knowing how I'm gonna maybe pay my rent next month. So I feel like this is really for the strong people to pursue this career. Right. Anyway, so there have been a couple of times when I just, I guess I burned, what's the phrase? Burnt out.
Mhm.
And then I started at some point, I think I started studying nutrition. I thought, like, I just turn a new page, I'll just start anew. And I started studying this nutrition thing. And I actually even got a certification. But the moment I really started studying it, I realized all I was thinking about was acting, just like being creative, talking, thinking about films, wanting to talk about films, just the express myself. The feeling got so strong that I couldn't like hold it anymore. And I understood that this is my life, and I can't do anything else. This is what I need to do, and that's it. So I just need to figure it out, you know? And actually, the moment I understood that if the force is so strong, why am I fighting it? If that's really makes me happy, then yeah, if okay, I'm not as rich I want to be, but I'm rich in so many other ways, right? And maybe one day I also be financially in a place where I was like, you know what? I I was patient and waited for it, and now I finally got there where I want to be. But I feel like just the life as an artist, just the journey can be so fulfilling. And I'm realizing now more and more actually, just like taking a little bit the lead, like you said, like you can't wait, just creating me being creative is actually there's so much power in it. And it's every day it just makes me feel better and better, not waiting for jobs, but I am creating, and that makes me feel great. And I feel after a long time, I feel like an artist again. And that's why yesterday it really got me, the movie, the Springsteen movie, that
Yeah.
that's all what I ever wanted to be. And now I feel like I actually can be. I don't need anybody's permission. I can just do whatever I want to do and express myself all possible ways. Of course, would be nice to get acting work in big movies. Of course, it's nice, and I'm working towards it. Like, and you too. But at the same time, I can always be artist and create at the same time.
That's great. And I want to finalize this, not finalize it, but because I definitely would like to have you on next time when you're after you've gotten your Emmy or Oscar or when you're there. What what would you be your biggest piece of advice to people out there who, especially if they've come from other countries, because there is a plethora of international people that have come to the US uh, over the years because of shows like Russian Doll and The Americans, and there's all these shows,
Mm,
like especially from Mexico,
right.
Narcos, and what would be your advice to international actors or actors in general, really, in
Mm,
this day and age? I know we talked about creating your own content,
mm.
but what mind mindset shift should they have or try to attain? Because it seems like you have it. You're like really strong, and you are strong mentally, whether you realize it or not. Because
Thank you.
we're still doing it. We're still here. We're still in the game, and a lot of people have left the business. But what would be your piece of advice?
You know what I'm thinking? Um, the happier you are, the more likely you are to succeed and to meet people, and the better your life is in every way. Like the happier you are, so do the things you love, do the things that bring you happiness, whether it's going to the nature, writing, listening to the music, meeting up with a friend. Just do the things that are meaningful to you and that bring you happiness. Because like if you audition and people can see if you're closed off and depressed and you see no hope, it's all in our
That's
energy,
yeah.
and people can read it instantly, right? But if you're just confident, you know what, I am living on my terms and I feel good about myself, and that means just do the things you love and be truthful to yourself. Don't do anything because, oh, this is popular right now, I'm going to do this, or does this, I think they will like me when I do this. No, I would, do that speaks to you. Express yourself the way you want to express, and just find happiness and confidence. And I feel that's, because I'm really talking almost to myself, what I have discovered in the recent years. That's why I'm almost, you know, talking to myself. And I feel like this is what I believe. This is what I truly, truly believe, and what has helped me, at times when I've been depressed and don't want to leave my room.
Well,
But,
there you have it from Kristel Elling. I'm so grateful, first of all, that we're friends. I'm grateful that you could
me
be
too.
on this podcast episode and that people can see you. Where can they find you on where can they reach you if people are if Martin Scorsese or Alexander Payne or if they watch this
Yes,
where they can where
Alexander Payne, my favorite
yeah.
director. I'm on Instagram, Kristel Elling. I'm on TikTok, Kristel Elling. I have my YouTube channel, Kristel Elling, where there are some clips of the movies I've been to. There's some clips from my auditions and creative stuff, a little bit martial arts. So yeah, everything is Kristel Elling. So find me, follow me, and let me know what you think.
All right.
And I want to do, I want to interview you.
Yes.
Do the exactly same thing what we did, but I'm gonna be interviewing you.
Well, I am grateful for that, and I look forward to that, and I I can't wait till we see each other in person, though. Hopefully soon. And congratulations on all your successes because you have been successful from Estonia to London to Hollywood, and we've just scratched the surface. So thank you again, Kristel.
Thank you so much,
All
Roshan.
right.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
You too. Bye bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Rad Actor Mindset Podcast. If you got value from today's episode, please share with a friend and hit that subscribe button. Let's keep building the mindset that gets you on set and keeps you there. See you next time.